I have sent out hundreds of job applications and I've only had a handful of interviews. And it wasn't because I'm not qualified, it's because my portfolio was sabotaging me. So today I'm gonna show you all of the mistakes that were costing me job offers. Plus I'm gonna show you different portfolio tips that can actually get you hired. So if you're job hunting right now, make sure you watch this whole video because these tips could be the difference between you getting ignored or you getting an interview. Hi everyone. So if you're new here, I talk about everything personal finance, lifestyle, and everything that meets at the intersection of life and money. And if you've been following my channel for a few months now, you know that I was laid off from my job at the beginning of this year, and I am still looking for a new job. And let me tell you, this has been a very humbling time in life, and it's been a big learning experience. And I've been doing a lot of research on what makes a successful portfolio, especially as a UX designer. So I found a lot of patterns and different tips that can help you separate yourself from a portfolio that tends to get ignored, and then a portfolio that can lead you to that first interview. So let me tell you the biggest mistakes I was making and what I've learned actually works. Mistake number one is having a generic hero section. So for example, if your hero section just says, "Hi, I'm John, a UX designer," that does not tell recruiters anything. So what a successful UX designer would do is communicate their value to a company. So instead of just saying, "Hi, I'm John, a UX designer," instead say something like, "I help fintech companies reduce user rate drop-off by creating research-driven design solutions." Number one, that's a lot more detail, and it tells them what you do and the value that you bring. Mistake number two is not being transparent about the projects that you've worked on. You need to be clear about where this work came from. So if it came from a boot camp, or if it's like a personal project, if it's work for a client, or if this was work for a company that you worked for. So don't try to hide it if something came from a boot camp. Just be honest about it up front. And what's most important is just to show your work and show your process, because at the end of the day, work is still work no matter where it came from. So what they want to see is your design process, which brings us to mistake number three. Mistake number three is not showing your entire design process. Okay, people don't just want to see what you made, they want to see how you think. So kind of like math. How like when you were in school with math, you couldn't just show that like this is the answer, you needed to show your work. In design fields, that's really important as well. You need to show your work. You need to show how you came to this design solution. And that's why having case studies on your portfolio is really important. And these case studies can follow simple steps or a simple outline. So think of first the problem, the process, the solution, and then the results. So first, talk about the business problem that you were solving. What was causing the business issue? Like, were they losing money? Were users dropping off? Were users not completing a flow? Like, what was happening? What was the problem? Then you want to walk through all the research that you did and your design process. So did you do an audit? Did you talk to users? Did you come up with your own user testing plan? Did you show your ideation for your different designs? Literally everything that you did to ultimately solve this process from start to finish, that is your design process. And that's what you need to be showing in your portfolio and on your case study. You want to show the final solution. So at the end of it, what did you do? Did you create a presentation? Did you have to come up with a new prototype? Like at the end of this design process, what was the end result? And then show whatever impact that end result had. Did you increase user satisfaction? If you did, say by how much, like show real numbers. Recruiters like seeing real numbers. Like I increased user satisfaction by 25% or whatever. I just made that up. But you need to show the impact of what you did. Did user satisfaction increase? Did a drop-off rate decrease? Did more people open the email? Did more people click sign up? Like what happened as a result from your design changes? And if you're in a situation where you don't know exactly what happened, maybe you don't have access to those analytics, or sometimes you can leave a company before the design goes live, so you don't actually know what happened. In those situations, you can talk about what you would have measured if you still worked there. And mistake number 4 is just having a boring about section. So in your about section, you may want to include whatever skills you know, but don't just list out your skills. Your about section should be an opportunity for you to tell a story. Who are you? What are you passionate about? Why do you like UX design? What is it like working with you? Are you very detail oriented? Are you more of a visual communicator? Will you work hard to beat deadlines? Do you ask a lot of questions? Are you very personable? Like, tell them what it's like working with you so they can get a picture of what it would be like if you were a part of their team. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, these tips are great, but I don't have the time to learn how to code to make my own website, nor do I have the money to pay someone to build it for me. And that is where today's sponsor comes in, Hostinger Horizons. Horizons is honestly a game changer for anyone who wants to quickly build a portfolio. Instead of spending weeks trying to figure out how to code or how to, make the website yourself, you can literally just tell AI to build it for you and it'll just do it. So let me show you how it works. So here I have everything set up. So I'm on the Horizons website. And I can literally just type something in and then it'll build it. So let's say I want to create a professional UX designer portfolio, if I can spell, with a strong hero section, project case studies with problem solving results structure, an about section that shows personality, and make it mobile responsive. Okay, so that's my prompt and we're just gonna click enter and see what it gives us. Okay, so we have a website, a portfolio. This is actually really cool. Wow. It's so detailed. Oh, this is cool. So it created like all these different sections. It's got cool graphics in it. And like you can switch out all these. So, you can put in your own text, but yeah. So I can make this full screen and I can see how it looks and I can see what it looks like on mobile. So in like literally less than a minute, I have an entire complete portfolio. And the cool thing is, so if I want to make any changes, I can just talk to it like it's a person. So let's say I want to change like the color scheme. So I like wearing a lot of like neutral tones and there's a lot of blues and like purples here. So let's say, there's this like speech button down here or microphone, so I could just talk to it. But let's say make the color scheme of the portfolio more natural. Okay, so it's definitely, they use warmer tones. I still want I don't want the background to be black. So perhaps I should have said that. So just gonna add this in. Okay, so I'm saying the background should be white or a very light color. Heading should be brown. Accent colors are burnt orange and olive green, and normal text is black. So let's see what happens with that. All right. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Yes, this is much more my aesthetic. So it applied the changes. So the background is light. It has the browns, burnt orange, got the olive green. Yes, 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 yes. It was this. I think this is what the kids are doing now. This, instead of clapping, they'll do this. So switch to text editing mode. Okay, so now I can go in and I can put in my own text. So like I was saying before, oh, okay. So came up with this little pop-up. So I can say, I help fintech companies reduce user drop-off rates. And so this is the part with the projects. It did change some of the information here. So if I wanted to view the case study, it says this feature isn't implemented yet, but don't worry, you can request it in your next prompt. I'm gonna go to the chat and I'm gonna say, build out the health tech mobile app case study. Have 4 sections: problem, process, solution, and the results. Oh, wow, cool. Yeah, it did it. It like created a whole case study. And now I just have to like put in my own information. But oh, that's really cool. It did that whole thing. Wow. That's really cool. So this is so much better than like fighting with a template or trying to figure out CSS. I can publish it with one click, and I can even get my own domain. And I still own and have access to the code, so later on down the line, if I ever want to make any changes, I can do that. And this is an all-in-one solution, so that means I can manage the web hosting, I can get a domain, and I can even have my own like professional email address, and I can do all of that in one place. And if I ever have an issue, they have a 24/7 dedicated multilingual customer success team. And you can try all of this risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. Launch the portfolio idea you've been sitting on today with Hostinger Horizons. Use my code numbers to get 10% off your first month. All right, let's get back to the tips. So these are some advanced strategies that can really make your portfolio stand out. So first, have a consistent theme for your portfolio. And you can kind of think of it like how companies will have different values. So if you go to like their about section, you'll see like, we value empathy and leadership and innovation, or, you know, those type of things, right? So your portfolio can have a similar approach. So if you say that you value empathy, then show that. Talk about that in your hero section, talk about it in your about section, mention it as part of your design approach in your different case studies. Like for me, I'm really passionate about accessibility, so that can be my theme, or like empathy with accessibility. So mentioning that all throughout my website or my portfolio. And when your portfolio has a theme or you share what your values are, then that can help you attract companies that have similar values. Second, you want to make sure that you show a variety of projects. So let's say you have a project that is for an iOS app, or then you have a project for a web app, and then you have a project for just a website. And if you're not like as technical of a person, you may think like, what's the difference? There are differences. There's different nuances. There's different like design nuances for each one of these different websites or different types of apps, and recruiters and hiring managers understand that. So if you only have like mobile app experiences on your portfolio, then I mean that's kind of limiting yourself to only getting jobs for mobile apps, right? Or if you only have like Android experiences versus a mixture of Android and iOS. So you're just limiting yourself, and you want to show that you can do it all. Or at least like you have experience doing it all, and maybe you have like a specialty in this one area, but you don't want to limit yourself to just that one area. So show that you can work on apps, show that you can do web apps, emails. Like there's a lot of different things that you can touch on in the tech space. So make sure that you're showing all of your different experiences. That way you're showing that you don't only just do one thing, but instead you have a range of skill sets. And third, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like you should include not just your successes, but also your failures. Because a lot of times, like if you only show like, oh, everything went perfect, well, that's not realistic. And, you know, especially in a work environment, things unfortunately like go wrong all the time, right? So, and especially like in a design world, when you are showing what went wrong, that's beneficial because you can learn from what went wrong. And when things don't go according to plan and you include that in your case study, you can say what happened, but you can say how you pivoted, how you turned things around, how you had to think of a new solution quickly, or just showing like, well, next time I know not to do this, and instead I'll do something else instead. Number 4, A lot of times in design worlds, like depending on what company you work for, you may not be able to tell exactly what you are working on, especially if you sign something like an NDA, right? So, but you still did this work and you still want to be able to talk about it to a certain extent. So in those cases, you can just include like very high level details on things, especially if your portfolio is public, like just include really high level details about the project that you worked on. And then after, publicly you have the high level information. If people still need to know more, you can put that behind like a private access type thing. So like password protected. And even then, you still may not be able to share everything, even if it is password protected. So instead, just be honest about like, I can talk about this, but I can't talk about that. So you may have to redact certain information, take out certain names, certain like data points that you can't include, but you should still be able to give a high level design process of what type of things you did or what type of problems you had to solve, and explain how you did it and an overall summary of the results. Another tip, make sure it is mobile friendly. You wouldn't think that you'd have to say that in like 2025, but there are some portfolios out there that aren't mobile friendly. And it's obvious that, they made this on a website and they looked at it and it looked good on the website, but they never checked how things looked on mobile. Sometimes an image could be too small on mobile and you can't see any of the detail, or like words are cut off, or it just doesn't look good, clean, or polished sometimes when it's obvious that they never looked at it on mobile. So what you want to do is make sure that you are testing it out on different devices, different, if it looks good on your website, then maybe look at it on a tablet or an iPad, look at it on your phone. You can even go as far as to look at it on different browsers. So maybe it looks good on Chrome, but it didn't look good on Safari. So you want to check like different web browsers as well. Here are 3 final tips that can help you set your portfolio apart from everyone else. So number 1, make sure it is scannable. So use headers like H1, H2, H3, and make sure there's a clear hierarchy so that people can tell what's most important and then what they should read next and then what they should read after that. Use bullet points, make numbered lists if that's appropriate in that case, and just have like decent amount of spacing between things, because you want to make things as easy as possible to read, because when recruiters are looking at your website or your portfolio, they don't have time. They don't have a lot of time. They're spending just like a few seconds, 30 seconds on your resume, 30 seconds on your portfolio. They're just trying to see what jumps out to them, and they may not have time to read every single thing. And so if you just have like one big block of text, that's not readable, that's not scannable. So pull out the most important key phrases so that they can see like, oh, this section is about this section is about that. They can scroll really fast and they can say, oh, these were the end results. These are the lessons that they learned, that type of thing. Make sure it is scannable. Another tip, it is okay to show your personality. So like I said, they look at a lot of resumes, they look at a lot of portfolios, and over time things can just kind of mesh together. And so everyone kind of looks like bland. But if you can make yourself stand out, not too much in a way where it's a turnoff, but if you can show your personality, then that will show your team what it's like to work with you and if they want you on their team. Because some people really are personality hires. Like, yeah, like maybe they're good or decent like at their job, but there's always going to be a personality hire on the team, and that's okay. That's okay. Somebody's got to be it. And if that's you, then that's okay. Just let them see like what your personality is like. So outside of work, what do you like to do? Be appropriate in what you put as far as like disclosing what your personality is like. So don't make don't turn them off in a way where they don't want to work with you, but include like little like Easter eggs or like fun facts about your personality so that they see a more holistic picture of who you are as a person. And third, make sure your portfolio is updated. Okay, show them the type of designer you are right now. It is 2025. If you have something on your portfolio from 2017, number one, design has changed a lot since then, so that design may look outdated and they may think that your design skills are just outdated. But when in reality, that's just an old portfolio piece and it probably shouldn't be on your portfolio anymore. And so not only could it say that your design skills are outdated, it could mean like, well, why is this from 2017 on your portfolio? Have you not done anything more recent? Like, have you not worked in the past 8 years? Like, what's going on? So you want to make sure that your portfolio is up to date. Keep things like the last couple of years. So that's why, like, when you are working, you want to periodically be updating your portfolio, and every few months adding something new, taking something away, making sure that it's updated and fresh. So the difference between just a generic portfolio and one that incorporates the tips that I just mentioned is very, very different, right? One is bland and just cookie cutter and doesn't really tell a story. And the other one is very specific. It tells you who you are, what type of projects you worked on, how you worked on them, and then what was the results of those projects. So these tips can really make a difference between you being ignored and they just instantly sending you a rejection email, or you get that email saying, hey, we'd love to talk to you, and you get that first interview. All right, y'all. So if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like. So that really does help the algorithm and help share this video to other people. And as always, I'm going to continue giving y'all updates on my whole journey on finding another full-time position. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any videos coming up. And please leave some comments down below. I'm curious if other people have had different issues with their portfolio, or if they feel like they have other tips that I didn't talk about here. If you feel like there's other things that can help you make your portfolio stand out, please let us all know in the comment section. And remember, if you want to try Horizons to quickly build your website, that link is going to be in my description box below. And with that, I will see y'all next time.